Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather. It's 10 to 14 days for today's third video. Day 10 will take us to the 20th of October. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe in a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS-V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into early November. I should get on that for you in a moment. Just say about the first video themselves, our 6 AM UK weather forecast. I've also released a detailed European outlook as always on a Thursday. So please like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much everyone for doing that. For GavsWeatherVids, thank you so much everyone. I've got a bit of jip with a bat today. I felt it a bit yesterday, but it appears to have got worse overnight. I'm in a little bit of pain. No, I'm going to try and get this done as quickly as possible. Then get out of this chair and lay on the floor. I think that's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? If you have a bad back, lay on the floor. Yeah, but Gav's getting old. You see, that's the problem. You go to bed feeling fine, and you wake up feeling like you're on your, on your last legs when you get to my age sometimes. Anyway, never mind about that. You're not interested in my tales of woe. So let's have a look what's going on in the tropical Atlantic. So we've got 3 interest areas, of course. Now we've got disturbance 1 just here with a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 and 7 days. That's a tropical wave emerging off the west coast of Africa. So we shall see what happens with that. Well, could be one to watch as it moves out over the warm waters of the Atlantic there. Now, I've also got Hurricane Leslie. Hurricane Leslie is actually powered up to a Category 2 hurricane now. Very unexpected. A few days ago, before Hurricane Leslie was pretty much done. But now, Leslie is giving maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 972 millibars. If we click on Leslie, we can see this is forecast to stay as a hurricane for the next few hours. We'll then go down to tropical storm if the forecast is correct, but the forecast hasn't been that good for Leslie, I have to say. But it is predicted to go down to tropical storm tomorrow and then into the weekend, moving up towards the Azores and going post-tropical then. Quite surprising what's been going on with Leslie. If we look at the discussion, currently giving maximum sustained winds. Currently giving maximum sustained winds of 105 miles per hour. That goes down to 100 miles per hour maximum sustained in 12 hours' time, and then down to 80 miles an hour maximum sustained in 24 hours' time, before going post-tropical 50 miles per hour maximum sustained winds in 36 and 48 hours' time. Quite surprising what's going on with Leslie at the moment. And then finally, of course, all the headlines have been about Milton. So Hurricane Milton has now done its worst to Florida and is moving out into the into the Atlantic. So currently giving maximum sustained winds of 85 miles per hour. That's a mid-level Category 1 with minimum central pressure of 980 millibars, moving quite quickly now at 18 miles per hour east-northeastwards. So, Category 1 Hurricane Milton will continue for the time being, moving out into the Atlantic. And then we go through to tomorrow, and we'll be going post-tropical storm, post-tropical depression by Sunday, and then Milton should be gone. But what an incredible storm Milton has been. Reached Category 5 status twice in the Gulf of Mexico. Absolutely unbelievable storm. And of course, we're still waiting to really see just how much damage it's inflicted on Florida. It's going to be a few hours, I think, before we know just how bad things were on that west coast of Florida last night. But Milton is now moving out into the Atlantic, and people in Florida will soon be able to start the clear up, I suppose, and start getting things back to normal. Perhaps we'll see. Right, that's what you're up to date there. Central temperature is now sitting at 12.2. That is 1.7 degree above 61 to 99 average. Provisional to yesterday, to the 9th of October. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles next couple of weeks. We're at Edinburgh today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature outshore Edinburgh. Sunny or cold at the moment, having cold snap from the north. Again, as we've had on and off through this autumn, of course. We'll find the upper air temperatures lifting up into next week. So next week will turn a lot milder as the wind shifts around to the south. Actually, you might even say it's going to be turning warmer next week. Could we have a little Indian summer maybe? Possibly, but I think it will also be quite unsettled though. So maybe no Indian summer, but certainly going to be a lot milder anyway. And we keep the upper air temperatures above average generally right way through to the final week of October. We get to the 24th of October now on summer graph, by which time going back to average. Of course, that's a long way out, so unreliable time frame stuff. Overall, it looks like we start off cold and we turn a lot milder or warmer next week, and probably beyond that. With the precipitation, look like this. So 2 or 3 days reasonably dry, gradually turning more unsettled into the last stages of weekend, the early part of next week. And then later next week looks more definitively unsettled. So through the third week of October and into the second half of the month, looks like, there will be quite a bit of rain still to come. Temperature anomalies, summer temperature the 18th of October, about average, not a particularly big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies from the temperature 18th of October, drier than normal, so I've got a few dry days to come and to enjoy. Latest wind from map from earthnorthschool.net shows that winds are coming in from the north today. We can drag the map down. You can see that the air does originate from a long way north, originates up here. So true sort of Arctic origin source air coming down the western side of Europe, and so that's the reason it feels pretty chilly out there. Will be cold tonight with fairly widespread frost, I think, across much of the country. Dragging the map around, you can see Hurricane Milton now clearing off the east coast of Florida. That will move out into the Atlantic, and that will be the end of the incredible Hurricane Milton. What a ferocious storm it's been. Okay, let's start going through chart data then. Sorry again, everyone. Let's start going through chart data then. Let's have a look UK Met Euro run. Looking big night on Sunday. High pressure ridging in from west. Wind still coming in from a chilly northerly direction though. Into next week, wherever the wind direction changes again. High pressure moves out in towards Germany. Low pressure out in the Atlantic. And this brings up a southerly southeasterly flow. So becoming a lot milder, if not warmer, through the middle part of next week. But still with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. So still unsettled with chance of some quite heavy rain times for the north and west in particular. That's as far as we get to with UK Met today to midnight on the 17th of October. By which time we're moving a trough across the country. Excuse me, take some showery rain with it. Icon again has that ridge building in from the Atlantic on Sunday, mostly dry, quite chilly with that. Then into next week, the ridge forms down with high pressure to our east. We turn wind around to southerly direction, so becoming a lot milder, if not warmer, through the early part of next week. But still troughs of low pressure trying to get in from off the Atlantic. That's a setup for next Thursday. Again, so I'll get to with Icon, 17th of October. And high pressure there is ridging from the Atlantic into the north and the west of Europe. That probably is trying to settle things down. The KMA looks like this. So again, all much of muchness for the early part of next week. Winds turning around to the south. No, it will be turning milder, but looks a little bit more unsettled, I think, with the KMA. I have noticed, I think, the KMA perhaps overdoes the low pressures a little bit. Perhaps overdoes the unsettled weather a little bit sometimes. So it might not be quite as unsettled as that shows really early to middle part of next week. But anyway, it'll be a lot milder though. And then go through to the second half of next week. Trying to build high pressure south, but with a deep low to the north. Going into like a flat westerly zonal pattern, really very typical of October. As we get to the 22nd of the month, high pressure south, low pressure to the north. As I say, looking very flat and westerly. South GFS midnight run is looking. Again, we're building in that high pressure on Sunday. Quite a chilly but mainly dry Sunday, and then through the early part of next week, high pressure over into the east of the country shifts the wind around to southerly southeasterly. Should turn a lot milder, if not warmer, but still without breaks of rain with these areas of low pressure trying to get in from west. In fact, a real battle taking place here, and below eventually starts moving down towards Biscay as high pressure holds its ground to the east. So by the time we get through today 10, still with battles going on with high pressure to the east, low pressure out to west, still drawing up those southerly winds. This looks like a very mild pattern that's setting up, I have to say. We could be turning into really quite a warm October here. Though early in the month we thought maybe we'd have our first colder than average, but I don't think we're going to. I think we might actually come away with quite a warm October in the end. Will be interesting how that works out. But even as we get to like 300 hours out, which is the 22nd of October, still we have the pattern of high pressure to the east, low pressure to the west, and still we're drawing up those southerly to southeasterly winds. And eventually the low pressure starts trying to break through as the ridge begins to head up towards the Ukraine and the Black Sea and whatnot. But definite signs of high pressure trying to get much more involved in the weather pattern through the second half of October. But GFS and ECM, by comparison, has a ridge building in again on Sunday, and then into early next week, low pressure to west, high pressure to the east. We bring up that southerly flow. The middle part of the week brings low pressure across the country, so that brings showering conditions with it. And then we head up towards days 9, 10, and further lows are heading in from off the Atlantic, high pressure away to the east. Moving into extended range, high pressure eventually takes over. Winds staying from like a southerly southeasterly, so should be pretty mild, if not warm there, as we go into the closing days of the month. It actually gets us everyone actually gets us to the 26th of October there. And once again, we've got high pressure over into the east, so a drier but still pretty mild pattern. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Big show to everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. GM, again, with high pressure ridge again for the Atlantic on Sunday. Through the early part of next week, got high pressure east, low pressure west. We'll bring up a southerly southwesterly flow. Should be mild, but still show rain into the west in particular. We go through the second half of next week, still trying to bring these areas of low pressure in off the Atlantic with high pressure away to the east and to the northeast. So a proper old battle going on here. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object, really, with high pressure still sitting over Scandinavia. Low pressure out in the Atlantic to the west of UK and Ireland. And all the time we bring up like a southerly flow. So it will be mild with this pattern. It is quite a warmish pattern. Of course, if the high pressure eventually takes over from Scandinavia and gets wind properly into the east, let's say that happens into early November, then we might start turning a lot colder. And it can happen quite quickly. Southerlies can quickly turn to easterlies. No, it's an interesting pattern anyway, but we've got setting up here. But initially, it's a warm pattern, of course, with these southerly to southwesterly winds, and also potentially quite a wet pattern as well. Because what can happen with this? Hang on, what can happen with this? Let's go back here. Is that the weather fronts can kind of get a little bit stuck. Weather fronts associated with below pressures, they can get a bit stuck. And if that happens, then obviously you can get quite a lot of rain on those stuck frontal systems. ECM, oh, blimey, my back. ECM, I'm getting old, everyone, I'm getting old. ECM, with a ridge of high pressure, being like to drive at quite cold weather for Sunday, or chilly weather anyway. Early next week, high pressure is to the east, low pressure to west, and we're drawing up that southerly flow. Still unsettled with low pressure coming in of the Atlantic bringing wet weather, but it'll be a warmer variety of rain compared to the cold rain we've had recently. Long flex southwesterly at the end of next week, bring the air up from the Azores. That looks very mild indeed, quite typical though for October. And we end up looking like that. Day 10 still quite unsettled, high pressure around France and Spain. Low pressure to the north of Scotland. We'll still bring weather systems in from Atlantic. Not as strong as that high pressure to the east, you'll notice. Nowhere near as much blocking around Scandinavia and to the east of us as a lot of the model output has today. So that's a bit different and interesting. Basic precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Meteo.com. So showing rain over weekend in the north and west. Could be cold up with some snow, even to quite low levels maybe on Saturday for Scotland. Then high pressure builds through the country Sunday. Into next week, we've got wet weather coming into the west, mainly driving east. We're drawing up those southerly winds. The rain does break through even to eastern areas, though, for a time, for the middle part of next week. And further bouts of rain coming in from off the Atlantic, so always looking quite unsettled with the ECM today. Remember, the other models aren't quite as unsettled as that. The other models have a stronger ridge to the east and to the northeast. These are the yachts on the table within the ECM ensembles day 4, day 10 for the Oceanic Met Office. Gets us to the 20th of October. 15 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the north and northwest. High pressure to south, southeast. We're drawing up a southwesterly flow. Main driver south, unsettled in the north and quite warm. We've got 12 with deep low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic. That can be very unsettled, of course. We have got 10 with that blocking area of high pressure towards Scandinavia. Low pressure out to the west. So that's kind of in line with the other model output with the low pressure. Perhaps been held out in the Atlantic a little bit more. We've got 9 with an even stronger ridge over to the east coast. So that would be mostly dry. Should be quite mild as well. And then we've got 5, including the operational run. Again, with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, bringing up the wind from a southwesterly direction there. So the scenario that the ECM is showing there at day 10, that scenario, if we go back to like days 8, 9 and 10, that scenario is not all that well supported though by the ECM ensembles actually. The operation run was perhaps a bit of a synoptic outlier today. Right, okay, let's flip this over and have a look at 2 weeks' time. Can we do that? Let's have a look. There we go. So, these are the options that we got for 2 weeks out. Gets us to the 25th of October. 26 members of the ECM ensembles then have high pressure dominating over to the east of the country, so it should be mostly dry. Bring the wind up from a southerly southeast direction. It should be pretty mild. Unless we start backing it to more of a sort of east-southeasterly, then it might start actually getting a little bit cooler, maybe. And then we've got 25 members of the ECM ensembles, but look unsettled with low pressure to the east, high pressure out to the Atlantic. So that's cool and unsettled winds coming in from the northwest. So it's virtually a 50-50 split, actually, at 2 weeks out as to whether we're settled or unsettled. Quite an uncertain period then. CFSB2 finally beats the 500 millibar high times, bringing down into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 10th to 16th of October. Next week has low pressure over into the east of the coast. It's cool and showery. Week 2 is going to be the 17th to 23rd of October. Low pressure is to the north, high pressure is to the south, and we're bringing in the wind from southwest, so a mild with driest weather in the southwest. Week 3 is going to be the 24th to the 30th of October. High pressure takes over then. Should be mostly dry and quite mild. Winds coming up from the southwest with that. And then week 4 is the 31st of October, 6th of November. High pressure and pulling out into the Atlantic, so a bit of a mid-Atlantic ridge, perhaps would set the wind flow and direction onto a northwest-southeast alignment. So that could be turning cooler, actually, but still should have quite a lot of dry weather with high pressure just to the west. Perhaps a cool start to November, we'll see. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Please show everyone for doing that. So why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Tomorrow, we're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. Every Friday and a 10 to 14 day. So I shall see you for that one. I'll have to go and lay down on the floor. And hopefully that will be a bit better tomorrow. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye for now.